Good morning, L.A. D. Fish and Decker in live for you on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of L.A. sports. Of course, the one, the only Derek Fisher, and of course myself, Cody Decker. We got Raj in the back. We got Aaron in the back. We got Crash doing his very best to keep us live on YouTube, of which you can watch right now at The Fan LA. Join the conversation. Join the show. So much to talk about today, man. We got more LeBron drama and news and speculation, and now, boy, oh boy, we had a conversation, 2 weeks ago? In fact, we had a conversation 2 weeks ago, D-Fish, that kind of went viral about LeBron James, about the idea of Le GM. We got to talk about Le GM today at some point, because Le GM, it might not even be Le GM anymore. We might have to change his name to Le Commissioner at this point. We will discuss later on in the show. We got the Dodgers doing what the Dodgers do, ladies and gentlemen. Getting another victory last night over there in Philadelphia. We're going to break that down for you. We're going to break down both the Western conferences of the AFC and NFC today, two basically the most exciting conferences in the NFL. Of course, later on in the show, Anthony Recker joins the show, former New York Met, MLB Network, and of course SNY. And also to talk all things NFL, specifically NFC West, we got our good buddy joining us. Actually, I should really say it's Raj's really good buddy. Raj, who do we got joining us later on in the show? I'm looking in the rundown and I don't see it anymore. Where is it?
It's Jason Cole, my friend, a Hall of Fame voter, a longtime author of the NFL. He'll be previewing the AFC and NFC West divisions as we count down to training camp.
That's right. The countdown to training camp continues here on 97.1 The Fan. But D-Fish, Wednesday evening, how was your night? Anything cool go on? Here's the deal, dude. My AC is broken, and I'm living in hell. Like, I know it's Santa Monica. I know it's supposed to be like this beautiful breeze coming in from the ocean. Yeah, we're not getting that right now. We are in heat wave central right now.
No, it's hot.
It's hot. Brutal.
Yeah, no, it's hot. Yesterday evening was pretty chill. There's just a lot going on, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm managing my time properly in the evenings. It's not super hard stuff always, but between obviously prepping for the show, checking the scores, watching the game. I saw portions of this Dodgers game yesterday evening.
Yeah, they wrecked all that ass.
Yeah, no, it was as I was pulling up to it though, it was 3-3. So that's basically when I started really watching. I watched from fifth inning on to the end, and then I have a couple partnerships in terms of trading cards with Fanatics and Topps. So
nice.
I had to block out some time to sign some cards so I can start getting those sent back, and then I intended to be in the bed by 9 o'clock, and of course it's 9:45 before I really
every single time catches up on you.
And I'm like, man, that 45 minutes, boy, will do it to you in the morning.
No joke, no joke at all, dude. Hey, how many Topps cards do you got? Because here's the thing, I remember when I got my first Topps card, it was like a whole accomplishment. Because you know how it is, baseball cards, growing up as a kid, trading with your friends. I have still to this day thousands of baseball cards. So I remember when I got my first Topps baseball card, my name on it, the logo, all that.
Yeah.
It was the first time
I made it.
I made it, dude. I'm a guy. I got a Topps card. It's real.
Yeah.
Can't take this away from me. Yeah.
No.
What was your first card? What was that like?
Actually, it was a photo that really kind of helped me understand. So my first couple years in the league, I would go home in the summer, back to Little Rock. I didn't know anything about L.A. I didn't want to be in L.A. in the summer. I was missing my family, so I would drive back. It's about 23 hours. Albuquerque, New Mexico is about the halfway point.
Whoo! I have done that drive to Albuquerque, New Mexico a few times.
Yeah.
It's one of my least favorite drives in the world.
It's just a straight
nothing.
Straight shot. And I got pulled over by a highway patrolman, and even for me, I'm thinking okay, so you got this young guy driving a nice car,
cross country by himself,
with a Arkansas driver's license, California license
Yes,
plate.
ain't looking good.
This is not looking
What were-
good.
and what, may I ask, what kind of car were you rocking? Was
It was a Mercedes S-Class.
So you might have been also driving a tick fast.
So I'm like, I'm driving back. He's like, hey, where you going? This and that. And so then he's like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I play basketball. Huh? So I started explaining it. He's like, really? So I had a little stack of just black and white action photos from the season that I was taking home. I was going to share with family and whatever. So I show it to him, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is me. And he's like, oh, really? That's cool.
That's awesome.
Slow down next thing. And I remember sitting there after he walked off, and I was like, oh, that's how that works.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's how it works.
Okay, I had a similar thing. Now, it wasn't as cool as yours because, one, I wasn't driving an S-Class. Two, I was driving like 110 miles per hour.
Oh, yeah. That was fast.
This is something I did. I got traded by the Kansas City Royals to the Colorado Rockies. But I was stuck in AAA at the time. So I had to go back to Omaha, which is where I was living at, get all my stuff, fill up my truck, and I had to drive, funny enough, to Albuquerque, which is the AAA affiliate for the Rockies. And it took me a whole day. I had to get back, and I had to fly in from Austin, pack up all my things, drive cross country.
Wait. They don't fly you?
No. Well, actually,
I'm not trying to be funny.
No, they do. But here was the thing. It was early in the season, right? And so since it was so early, I just moved into my apartment, literally just moved in my apartment in Omaha, have all my things there. So I had to basically uproot myself from Omaha to Albuquerque in 2 days. So they gave me the 2 days to literally drive all my things.
That's how much time they give you, 48 hours.
I had 48 hours basically to meet up with my new team that I was traded to. So I fill up the car, and I'll never forget it. I took an Adderall on my drive because I knew I had to just drive straight through. So I had an Adderall and I took it. Probably not the most responsible thing I've ever done in my life. But all I know is about 20 hours into this drive, my eyes are wide open. I'm playing Kiss from a Rose by Seal over and over and over again. I don't know why. It's just hitting. It's just hitting me in a spot, and I'm singing at the top of my lungs, baby! Just classic stuff. Turns out this cop had been following me for 3 miles driving, and I was in a high-speed pursuit for 3 miles. No clue that I was in it. I was too wrapped up in Seal. He pulls me over and he starts the conversation with, "Are you deaf, dumb, and stupid, boy?"
Yes.
And I'm like, "Yes, I am. I've been chasing you for miles." I'm sorry, I said following. He was chasing me.
My God.
Anyways, I explained the situation. I somehow got away with not going to jail that day
Because he knew you were deaf, dumb, and stupid.
But that was my chance of driving cross country. But D Fish and Decker here on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. And yeah, you mentioned it, D Fish. There was a Dodger game last night.
Yes.
It came and went. Dodgers win yet again because, listen, it's what the Dodgers do. The Dodgers have the best record in baseball, but there is something very impressive about this win. A couple of things, actually. One, they was in Philly. They win the series in Philly. First time they've won a regular season series in Philly since 2022. This Dodger team is just different because who did it last night? Let's look at the box score itself. Well, let's take a look and see where the money was. Let's say Kyle Tucker. I know Kyle Tucker's been heavily maligned all season long. He's hitting 230 like 6 right now. Not exactly what Kyle Tucker does. He went 0 for. In fact, Kyle Tucker went 0 for the series. Now, he did get himself a sac fly at the end of the game, so he got himself an RBI. So everybody got on the stat sheet. Well done there. But Kyle Tucker didn't really do much. Shohei Ohtani, 0 for 4. Didn't do anything in this ball game. Seeing the guys pick each other up was phenomenal. And it started with a guy who's been absolutely slumping lately, and that's been Dalton Rushing. So here's what Dalton Rushing did to end that slump.
This ball's drilled in the air to center field. It's carrying well, and it's gone. Dalton Rushing connects. A long home run to get the Dodgers on the board. Throw it back.
That, of course, that sound right there from Sportsnet LA from last night's Dodger game. Dalton Rushing getting them on the board. Huge job by him. And then later on in the show, dude, you want a guy that is just picking it up so much for this team this year in such gigantic ways. Getting into the 20 home run mark, but more importantly, hitting his 229th career home run as a Los Angeles Dodger, making him in sole possession of second place for most home runs as an LA Dodger. Here's what Max Muncy did.
Muncy cracks one in the air, left center field. Hit on the run. He'll turn and watch this ball go. Muncy finds the seats yet again. 20th of the year, 229th as a Dodger. Moving past Ron Shea, and the Dodgers move past the Phils.
That right there was the home run from MLB last night, and Sportsnet LA again. The Dodgers and Max Muncy, by the way, Max Muncy being in that spot, 5th all-time, I believe, as far as Dodgers history, 2nd all-time Los Angeles Dodgers history, passing Ron Shea. Only guy that's ahead of him at this point now is the one and only Eric Karros, who was, funny enough, like my favorite Dodger as a young kid. So very, very happy for, of course, Max Muncy and what he accomplished last night. That is kind of rarefied air for it, especially a team as storied as the Los Angeles Dodgers, D-Fish. Like, how would you, like, compare Max Muncy and what he's done for the Dodgers in this last 10 years? Like, who is, like, the Laker equivalent? Because here's the thing about Muncy. He's a solid ball player. He's an all-star, now a multi-time all-star. But I would never look at Max Muncy and be like, that dude's like an all-time star and great. He's going to be remembered as an all-time Dodger great, as he should. But like in the pantheon of baseball, you know, he was just a really damn good ball player. Like, who is like the Laker equivalent? Like somebody who is just going to be so remembered here, who is just solid, who might not be like on the Mount Rushmore of the history of Dodgers.
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I like I like, you know, these type of guys, like glue guys that you know, really make things go. I mean, I play with a bunch of guys that filled this role. I filled this role at times. You know, not an all-star caliber player myself. Guys that come to mind that, like, you know, probably made the all-star team or were all-star caliber guys even if they didn't make it. Byron Scott comes to mind.
Oh, good call on that one.
Lamar Odom comes to mind.
Another good one.
Like, those two guys probably stick out the most to me that really impacted winning, weren't necessarily the faces or the superstars of the teams, but just without their performances and the way they showed up for the team, you know, you just don't have the championship success that the Lakers were able to enjoy in the 80s with B. Scott and then, you know, the late 2000s with Lamar and Powell and that combination of skill and size and passing, lefty like Max Muncy. You know, so those are the two guys that come to mind for me.
I love that comp. That's a really good comp because being a Byron Scott of the Dodgers is pretty good spot to be in, if you ask me. By the way, later on in the game, I don't know, there's also this thing. The Dodgers are like a specter, dude. There's something about them coming into town that you ever see the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yes.
There's a line in that they use a couple of times where he's like almost describing how he gets away with all of his con man work. And the line is like, same reason the Yankees always win. Everybody's looking at those damn pinstripes. The Dodgers are those damn pinstripes now. They walk in and it's like you're just blinded by the LA on the hat now. It doesn't matter who's wearing the uniform, clearly, because anybody that's been wearing this uniform, it's been like throwing the Superman S on their chest. Everybody picks it up and gets the job done. So much so that they make the other team completely just, I don't know, fall to pieces. The way their base running is falling to pieces in Philadelphia. Yeah. We saw how the game ended the night before. There was another just complete dumbass base running play again, which left the announcers as puzzled as humanly possible.
Pitch number 13 from Eric Lauer to Trey Turner. Down to third, Muncy. Stott runs into an out. What are these guys doing?
That was Sportsnet LA, by the way. Dude, so in case you didn't know what that play was, I don't know what to say other than, what the hell is anyone doing? So if you're on second base, this is very simple. Yes, you're always looking to advance to third base. A ground ball is a play you can advance to third base. The old, very clear line is very simple. Make sure, if you're the runner on second base, make sure the ball is behind you. The end. So if I'm facing home plate, the ball, as long as I can run and make sure the ball will be to my left behind where I'm running, I should be able to make third base pretty easily without any issue whatsoever. This ball was not only hit in front of the base runner, it was hit to Max Muncy. Max Muncy plays third base. He literally just ran to Max Muncy to get tagged out. So it's one of two things. He completely had a brain fart of brain farts and had no idea where he was and what time is, or he thought there was a runner on first base and it was a force play, and it was just a very, very stupid base running play. I'm not sure what's going on with the Phillies right now, but they have ran themselves out of 2 straight games against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who you cannot make a single mistake against, or else they will beat you the way they did last night. And by the way, later on in the game, we saw the Dodgers break it wide open in the 8th. Tommy Edman with a huge 3-run triple. Dodgers getting it done in very, very big fashion last night. But also Eric Lauer, that name that was just mentioned by that announcer. Eric Lauer has been phenomenal for this team. You talk about another one of those role player type of guys. Eric Lauer has always been this kind of run-of-the-mill, standard lefty. He can eat innings, doesn't get hurt a lot, and he's definitely a solid pitcher. Last night, he went out there and busted his ass. He struck out Harper 3 times. He pitched all the way into the 6th inning. The Dodgers now have a day off today, so now their bullpen's going to be as fresh as humanly possible going in against the Mets this weekend. I don't know what to say other than the Dodgers hitting on everything, and here's Eric Lauer post-game.
Well, Eric, it had been just with the All-Star break 16 days since you had last pitched. What was it like just kind of getting into this game and ultimately after that early, we say hiccup with the home run, just kind of dialing in on this one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely a little slow of a start for me, but my main goal is just to be in the zone, really command the zone as well as I can, being off for so long. But I felt like I was able to lock it in after that and put together a few good innings and keep the team in it to win.
Dave?
A guy like that, you really have to just give all the credit in the world for. And I hate that I say a guy like that. That's if I'm saying he's some sort of Make-A-Wish kid, like he doesn't belong there. He absolutely belongs there. Eric Lauer is a phenomenal, phenomenal pitcher. But the numbers for Eric Lauer, he's got like a 5 ERA. But this team has won 8 straight games that he has started. Now, he has not gotten all the wins in those games. I believe he's 5-5 this season. And he got the win last night. Phenomenal job there. But at the end of the day, this guy has just done such a good job in the role that he was put in because everybody got hurt. Everybody on that staff. You got no Tyler Glass now. You got no Blake Snell. You bring in Eric Lauer, who, on most teams would be a 4 or 5 starter, and you bring him in and put him in this situation with the Dodgers, and he just gets it done. That's how the Dodgers get things done. They find so many just diamonds in the rough that fill in the patches that they need, and they do it better than anybody else.
And not just the baseball aspects of it and the performance aspects of filling in. In my opinion, like on superstar type teams, you need guys that aren't interested in being a superstar. That they're not competing with the A-list guys for attention, for clicks, for media interviews. They could care less if their name gets called for some commercial shoot or whatever. Like, they just want to show up every day to the clubhouse, get the job done, go pack up, go home. Nobody has to, celebrate them. They don't need a bunch of fireworks. They just like doing what they do and doing their jobs as best as they possibly can. And recognizing, okay, they may not get the credit, not going to get the big contracts, not going to make an all-star team, but they're still mentally tough enough to focus and dial in on the little things that it takes to be a great pro individually, but then also really fitting into a championship caliber team. You need these type of guys. Mm-hmm. And even just in the sound, it's like he's a low maintenance.
He just knows the
super
role.
Chill.
Just
Like,
knows what he's here to do. Listen, I'm hired for a job.
Yeah.
I did the job.
cool. Like he actually prefers not to be in front of the camera.
In fact, stop asking me questions. You know what I just did. That's like a straight up punching in the clock type of
Yes.
guy.
Yep.
You know what's funny? I played for Pat Murphy. That's I mentioned. He's been manager of the year these last couple of years. He tried to implement that type of mentality to us in AAA. In El Paso for the Padres before he moved up to be the manager of the Padres. And he did this literally, and he actually required us all to do it. He got one of those old-fashioned that you would see in a factory card timestamp things and punching in the clock type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
He got that put in at the door, and he wanted every player to punch in the clock to keep. And his idea was he wanted to maintain some sort of perspective on everyone. Everybody's got a job to do. Everybody punches in the clock at any job that you go to. This is still a job. We're here to punch in the clock and get the job done. And I always there was something about punching in that clock each day that I kind of just dug. And I was just like, yeah, we're here to get a job done. I like that.
I agree. I mean, that's not a bad, you need tangible ways of, symbolizing or modeling the mindset that you're trying to create, within the locker room, within the team, et cetera. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah.
I might try to bring that back.
I mean, dude, make it, especially if you got a superstar that buys in on it and they're punching the clock, dude, you get a lot done.
Yeah, because you need every player thinking that way. And even your best players, should or need to have that mentality. But guys like Eric Lauer, guys that are not the stars of the group, they just have to be willing to do those things, knowing they're not going to get much recognition for it. They won't be celebrated the way their teammates are. But he just continues to show up and get his job done. The Dodgers win when he starts, and he just, keeps punching that clock.
Gets it done. Punch in the clock. That is what some of these Dodgers are doing in the best possible way. But, guys, so much to discuss on the show. Later on in the show, Anthony Recker, former New York Met, from SNY and MLB Network, will be joining the show. Jason Cole joining the show in the 9 o'clock hour. Talk all things AFC and NFC West, of which we will be breaking down both divisions later on in the show. But coming up, boy, oh boy. D-Fish, I've defended it, and I've defended it. But I'm starting to really, really understand why people might hate LeBron so much. and we got to talk about it because, man, it's starting to kind of make sense to me. Maybe D-Fish can put me back in my place. We'll find out right here on D-Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. D-Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Derek Fisher, Cody Decker, and of course all of you. Join us live over here on 97.1 The Fan. Of course, you can take us on the go with the Odyssey app. And D-Fish, oh man, what a summer it's been so far. The summer of 26, the new look Lakers, the former Laker team that has now basically been dissipated throughout the entire league, and the new team that's in front of us right now. We had a lot of fun earlier this week kind of breaking down what the team is and how they're going to look going forward. But LeBron James has really, I got to give credit where credit's due. When you are in your 40s and you can still really hijack the league at such an incredible measure the way that LeBron is right now, you gotta give some semblance of credit to that, period, stop. When you are one of the greatest of all time, you can do things like this. However, I think we have finally approached something new, a territory I wasn't expecting us to be in. And it's something that was said earlier this week by his agent, Rich Paul, that I really thought was kind of a puzzling way to say it, but I kind of let it go. I wasn't going to dig too deep into the Rich Paul statement where he was saying, we are not going to be rushed. And I always thought that was kind of that phrase, the way he said it, almost seemed like it was directed at somebody. But I'm like, whatever that means. I thought it was maybe about a team that was probably irritating them or a player or something. I wasn't sure where that was coming from. But now, based on certain context and how things have kind of presented themselves throughout the entire week after Fanatics Fest, there are a lot of reports coming out that LeBron may have actually had a decision ready to go by the end of last week and was looking to actually announce it last week. Then, of course, the announcement never came, and you see Adam Silver go out and give his thing. And I actually found Adam Silver kind of refreshingly honest on this situation, because Adam Silver wasn't wrong. He is kind of waiting on LeBron to make the schedule. Now, that being said, the schedules probably have, like as you said yesterday, D-Fish, they probably have like 10 different schedules ready to go, whatever decision he makes, but they can't announce it until LeBron announces it. And apparently, according to some reports, it is being said that LeBron's camp was, quote, irritated by the sentiment from Adam Silver, to the point where LeBron decided not to make any announcements and take his time a little bit longer, which, if that is to be believed, that is petty as hell, D-Fish. and the other thing is kind of like needlessly so. I kind of appreciate the idea of like, no, you're not going to tell me when I make this decision. And I do kind of appreciate it, but also there are a lot more people in the NBA than LeBron James who have to make a lot of decisions throughout the year. I know LeBron's got to make the decision that's best for him, his family, his career, the end of his career. But there are a lot of other basketball players who got to make a lot of decisions with their families and the player personnel and front offices and flights and everything involved with that as well. So if LeBron is holding this up just to hold it up, what are we doing? We're in day 23 of his free agency.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not inclined to agree with the idea that like he's just been sitting on what he wants to do for 10 days.
Yeah.
And he's just not saying it because of what Commissioner Silver said or what, just to be antagonistic. Mm-hmm. I'm less inclined to believe that. Mm-hmm. Not saying it's not possible. Guys that operate at billionaire level, they're petty.
They are. So isn't that weird? Have you ever noticed how weird and petty billionaires are? Like, I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you've seen this. Like, Elon Musk is trying to get his AI system to redo the entire Odyssey movie right now. I don't know what it is with really rich people.
Yeah. So I'm. It's not impossible. I guess that when Adam Silver said, he would like him to make a decision so that this and that I guess that could be irritating, but I don't even think those comments were like, hurry up and, do something that's bad for you. I just think the comments were the realities of the business, that like there are a lot of decisions that we can't make until LeBron makes his choice. And so that's why, as the commissioner, I would like for him to make the choice as soon as possible.
Yeah.
but there was no energy in it around.
Yeah, there was
so
nothing.
The we're not going to be rushed thing. That I think that's also a fan sentiment, and just kind of pushing back on some of the narratives. A lot of there's just even for us, like there are a lot of segments around what he's going to do, and everybody's trying to figure it out, and that also can kind of create that rushed, anxious feeling, as though like everybody just wants him to hurry up and make a choice. So yeah, I'm not really inclined to believe that aspect of it. I am more inclined to believe like the patience around what are these teams going to look like, though.
That is fair. Well, if you believe other reports, that's a big issue with where LeBron is going and or isn't going. There are reports that he's trying to work out certain deals with multiple teams. There are reports that there was a 3-team deal that was like on the table specifically to get AD over there to Cleveland. There was apparently another talk about specifically getting Kyrie over to Cleveland for LeBron. And apparently there's also that Golden State, there's a report out that Golden State is still trying to figure out how to acquire AD also to get their hands on LeBron. So the thing that's interesting about this to me is LeBron, like, it's seemingly, we did that Les GM like conversation the other day. It seems like the Les GM thing is fairly real, which again, he's a superstar. He kind of should be in these conversations. But he's doing it for 4 teams right now, of which he's not on any of the 4 teams at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, but it's I think like if we look at it within the context of Aaron Donald, for example, right? Like it was the Myles Garrett decision that like piqued the interest differently.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, right? It's like, okay, I'm looking at the roster. I'm seeing who's there, who isn't there. Okay, what are the chances? Maybe yes, maybe not. Are there levers that can be pulled to get some guys that maybe I've won with before or that might be a better fit from a basketball perspective or whatever? And maybe those things aren't possible to happen, but let's see. Like if they can pull those things off, and not that he's controlling the decisions, but I think, whether it's Rich Paul or whoever would be having the conversations, it's like, man, I mean, if you can pull something off and make this happen or make this happen,
Yeah.
that will increase your chances quite a bit.
No, I could definitely see where you're coming from on that, but in this particular scenario, it would be LeBron would be the Myles Garrett, like demanding you need to bring back Aaron Donald type of thing. So it's I see it, but I'm having trouble.
I think in this case he's Aaron Donald.
Really? Why is that?
Because he's not on the team right now.
Fair.
When you sign Myles Garrett, that could be interesting for me. I see Super Bowl. Super Bowl is in LA. I'll think about coming out of retirement.
I could see where you're getting at with that.
Right?
The only difference, and this is where LeBron actually has a lot more leverage than, say, an Aaron Donald. He's playing other teams against each other, where Aaron Donald actually can't. It's a yes or no, I'm coming or not coming.
Yes. It's not an apples to apples comparison.
But I see where you're getting at.
But just the concept, though, of like it was the Myles Garrett addition,
which did pique the interest,
that kind of turned the engines on differently in terms of Aaron Donald considering coming out of retirement. And guess what? He could still choose not to, because his body doesn't, get back to that point where he can play at an All-Pro level. It also may happen that we may not see Aaron Donald until week 2.
Very realistic possibility,
right? So. Who says LeBron has to play all 82 games? If he's only signing for veteran minimum anyway, then what's the rush?
Of which Rich Paul basically said. The money is not the thing because everyone's going to pay him the same.
Correct. So then the only rush is the calendar, the schedule, some of the other decisions around. Like you said, there are other guys in free agency that are kind of held up because that wing forward market is kind of frozen until LeBron makes a decision. But I don't think it's like, because there's also his actual family and some of the real things that they're having to talk through and decide. I don't know of a household where you just kind of like got the whole family, and the missus just sitting around like kind of like waiting for you to figure out where our whole lives are going to be.
Yeah, that usually doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. So like, if he knows already, I don't know if they would just be conveniently holding on to it in his back pocket just because. I am more inclined to believe, sure, I would say he's probably waiting for, another move or certain conversations that could be happening that could possibly improve these rosters or change these rosters in a different way. Because there really is Philly has the talent pool, but does he really want to go to Philadelphia? Mm-hmm. Maybe he doesn't want to go there. So the one or two places he wants to go, he's trying to see if they can pull something off to get. And why wouldn't you want to work with somebody where you've won before?
Fair.
That's a fair. So I'm, again, whether it's happening or not, we're having a conversation around, some of the underlying things.
Oh, there's a lot. There's so many more layers to this that we can get into.
People getting like super, super inflamed about it as though like he's a villain for approaching it this way. It's just really interesting to me. It's like if Justin Timberlake was thinking about leaving NSYNC to go to the Backstreet Boys, there would be a long list of things that he would require before he would sign to go become a member of the Backstreet Boys.
Listen, there's going to be a lot
we gotta
to
figure
discuss.
a lot of stuff out.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot to figure out. And there are so many more layers to this because there are so many reports that are out right now, some by actual very reputable sources. So I'm looking very forward to talking and discussing this with you further because there's a lot more layers to break down with this current LeBron story. And, of course, we will later on in the show. Also coming up at the show, we got Anthony Recker of the New York Mets and SNY joining us. But coming up, AFC West, the best division in football, we will discuss right here on D. Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sport. That's right. D. Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of L.A. sports. Of course, Derek Fisher, Cody Decker, and all of you. And you heard it right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for our breakdown to training camp as time goes forward. The training camps are getting ready to start. So many teams getting ready to get out there, and very, very excited. We did a little bit of a breakdown yesterday, talking about the new additions over there with the Los Angeles Chargers the day before. Talked a little bit about the Raiders. Of course, we talked about the Rams quite a bit. But now we're doing a kind of a deeper dive into the divisions themselves. And D-Fish, we are starting with the AFC West, ladies and gentlemen, which for the last decade and a half has arguably been the best division in the NFL year in, year out. Just going over the teams that are in the AFC West, dear God, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, dynasty, despite a down year last year. Of course, we'll get into that. The Los Angeles Chargers, who we broke down quite a bit yesterday, they finished in second place last year. Of course, you got the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders, of which I am a diehard fan of. Also, we posted a Raider clip earlier on this week that is on our social medias, which, by the way, if you can check us out on Instagram at TheFanLA, you will see such clips. And that clip was very interesting because it sparked a lot of conversation, specifically because the Raiders, and we'll start with the Raiders because the Raiders are currently projected at the over-under of 5.5 wins this season. They were 3-14 last year in a miserable season with Pete Carroll's one and only run as the head coach of the team. Of course, we had Geno Smith. That did not go well. Chip Kelly was the offensive coordinator, who was the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL before he was fired mid-season for seemingly not coordinating an offense, I think was the fair thing to say. And then, of course, the season was just a disaster. That being said, it looks like we have a new look coming out here. Clint Kubiak hired as the former offensive coordinator over there from the Seattle Seahawks after winning the Super Bowl. You have a new quarterback in Kirk Cousins, even though he is very much supposed to be manning the ship for the time being, as Fernando Mendoza kind of learns under his tutelage, despite what the reports are that Fernando Mendoza probably looks better than Kirk Cousins already. You have Max Crosby getting ready to rejoin the team, and he's going to join camp early with the rookies. And, of course, you got Brock Bowers, you got Ashton Genty looking to do some stuff. Listen, this Raider team has gotten better this offseason. Firmly signed and sealed better. But their odds to win the division, plus 2,000. I think those odds are too short. I'm saying that as a Raider fan. I do not understand how the Raiders are even going to get to 5 wins, let alone getting over the hump of 5.5 wins. But D-Fish, what do you think of this Raider team? And by the way, the Raiders being quote-unquote bad this year is not necessarily on them this year. I honestly think anything is a step forward to last year. And again, they're in this division, and I'm not sure if you've seen their schedule. It's bad. They have the toughest schedule in the NFL this season. So, yeah, I'm expecting 4 or 5 wins, to be honest. If I were to make a bet on this, I'm taking the under on the Raiders win total.
Yeah, that's where it starts for me with the Raiders. I mean, you could say on paper, yes, they are better.
Yes.
But it still comes down to matchups and scheduling. Like, you can be better. I mean, there's some really good football teams that have hard schedules that just can't, like, you just can't mount enough momentum in an NFL season to, one, win your division, that then allows you to, possibly have better postseason success or at least guarantee an appearance in the postseason. So I just think the Raiders, I think the quarterback conversation is going to be ongoing all season.
It's already there.
That's not going to help.
It's already started.
Yeah, that's not going to help very much at all.
No. I actually feel bad for Kirk Cousins because he just left that conversation to have that conversation again, and he's surrounding it.
Yes.
That's tough.
I don't know if that was by design, if the Raiders felt like because he had gone through it
and handled it so well with such class
that it would still work out. But are the Max Crosby trade conversations done?
I wouldn't say they're done, but they certainly have dissipated. And I think a lot of people are waiting to see what's going to happen with the knee surgery. Listen, Max Crosby is Max Crosby, but at the end of the day, you saw that schedule. The Raiders are going to have some problems.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing.
This division's tough.
Yeah, you're talking about, opening week versus the Dolphins, okay, maybe, that's an opportunity to.
It's like their best chance to win the entire season.
Might be.
Yeah. So
maybe in the Jets, that you could figure that one out maybe.
Yep.
But and then I would say maybe the Cardinals and the Titans. But
there's some chances in there.
Yeah, there's a few, but our 5.5 is going to be tough. But I hopefully, to me, it's all about the quarterback situation and the scheduling, and when do you make that decision that Mendoza becomes a starter?
That is going to be a question we will be having answered this season. Let's look over at the Denver Broncos. A huge year for them last year, 14-3. I think we've all forgotten just how devastatingly good Sean Payton had that team running on every single cylinder last year. Bo Nix with a phenomenal year. Listen, this team is primed and ready to make probably another run. They're plenty young. They made a blockbuster trade for Jalen Waddle. Like this is another team that is very, very concerning if you're a team that's looking to compete in the AFC West. Right now, their odds to win the division are plus 225, which means they're giving them just as good of odds as anybody else in the division, with the exception of the Raiders, to win it. Their over-under win total is 9.5, and after that 14-win season last year, I'm inclined to take the over.
Yeah, Sean Payton is a football coach. Man.
Yes, he is.
I think he understands how to, put players in position to be successful. Is holds guys accountable. Like you don't hear a lot of stuff coming out of his locker rooms. The Bo Nix injury, which, we almost didn't even really see it happen.
We didn't really know it happened till like after the game type of thing. Like,
I'm not sure the exact injury and just what that'll look like, but you just have to be mindful of, star quarterbacks, and we'll get to the Chiefs obviously in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off of lower extremity injuries. And, how does it impact mobility? How does it impact the way the offensive coordinator is designing play calls and setups? And so, but the Broncos, they arguably would have been in the Super Bowl had Bo Nix been able to play in an AFC Championship game.
You're in line.
And so, I wouldn't be surprised if they're back at the top of this division and battling out with the Chiefs. And then, of course, the Chargers will have something to say about it. But I don't know. I like the Broncos a lot, man. I think they'll kind of fly under the radar again, and we'll look up, and they'll have 10, 11 wins again this year.
No question. And their odds right now to win the division plus 190. I'm sorry, plus 225, as I mentioned. Let's look at the Chargers, who their odds are plus 190. Their over-under total is 9.5. They're coming off 2 straight 11-win seasons. They got a new offensive coordinator, of which we talked quite a bit about, Mike McDaniels, and what he's going to bring to the table. And I got to say, I am really worried as a Raider fan of how good this team could be this season. And I'm not even going to get into the January of it all. It's to stay focused on the regular season. This team's win total is set at 9.5 wins. I'm inclined to take the over on that one too.
Which is weird, right? Like
crazy. Crazy.
For them to be in the same division, I was just, finishing up, checking out the Broncos real quick. And scheduling wise, I think because all of these teams have been good. The Chargers have been good.
Really good.
And, the NFL, which I like that aspect about the NFL in terms of how your season schedule is somewhat weighted, not 100% around what your record was the previous year,
mm-hmm.
but it does influence it some. And I like the fact that teams that have been good, are actually built to have, harder schedules, play the best teams. And in the AFC West, you're playing against the Broncos and the Chiefs twice in a season. And then, of course, you're playing against either the Chargers or the Raiders, a couple of times. So I think the Chargers, I think this offense is going to be electric.
I agree.
I really do.
I agree.
And I think this is the year that they break through and find a way. I think if they catch, by the time they play Kansas City, I think Mahomes will be more healthy. But to me, this is the year the Chargers have to break through and win the division.
Mm-hmm. They need to.
That's going to be my early call right now for the AFC West.
Ooh, you're going Chargers, huh? Well, we got one more team to discuss real quick at a 6-11 record last season, which is very uncharacteristic. Yes, Patrick Mahomes got hurt, and of course the backup quarterback Gardner Minshew got hurt immediately after Patrick Mahomes got hurt. The Kansas City Chiefs currently listed at plus 160, the shortest odds to win this division. Their over-under set at 10.5. Listen, I don't know if the 10.5 is realistic right now coming off the 6-11 season, fresh off a knee surgery for Patrick Mahomes, but the addition of Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III is not something small. You mentioned those lower extremity issues. Well, now you got a hell of a running back to help out with that. What do you think about this team? Where do you think it's going? I'm inclined to take the under on the 10.5 wins right now because I'm going with a little bit of recency bias on this one, and this division is just a juggernaut.
The division is definitely a juggernaut, but looking at their schedule, they're going to benefit from the fact that they were 6-11 last year. So they're early. They play the Colts, the Dolphins, the Raiders early in the year. They got the Cardinals, et cetera, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a year in the AFC West. What a season it will be. Later on the show, we're doing the NFC West and so much more right here on D. Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Welcome back. D-Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports, the legendary Derek Fisher. 5 rings, and of course, the guy, Cody Decker. Me, 3 rings in the minor leagues. And all of you, of course, Aaron right over there handling the 1s and 2s. Raj doing everything he can back there to make this show run on all cylinders. And of course, Crash keeping us live right now on YouTube at The Fan LA. And ladies and gentlemen, the Dodgers got themselves another victory last night. Number 1 team in Major League Baseball, half game above the Milwaukee Brewers. And they are getting ready to start a series over there in New York with the Mets. It will start tomorrow because they are having the off day today as they go to the White House to celebrate their last World Series victory. And who better to bring on other than a former Met, a wonderful all-around broadcaster. You know him from MLB Network. You know him from SNY. And currently doing some broadcasts for the Minnesota Twins, I hear. The one, the only former catcher, Anthony Recker. Reck, what is up, man? It's good to have you on the show. And, man, how are things over there in the New York side?
Great to hear your voice, first of all, Cody. It is great to be on. Things over here on the New York side are good. I mean, unless you're a Mets fan, things are good, you know? I think a lot of people are still on a high from the Knicks, and so not that many people are, panicking. No, what am I saying? They're going nuts. It's awful over here.
Yeah,
Mets fans
they're
lose their
absolutely
minds. Yankees fans have had a little bit to be upset about lately, so it hasn't been great.
Yeah, it's got to be a little tough. And let's start there. Let's start with the Mets and everything that's been going on with them. Listen, they have the second highest payroll in Major League Baseball next to the Dodgers. And, everyone's trying to make the Dodgers the biggest villains in sports because they have the audacity to spend the money that they earn. The Mets do the same thing, yet they're not getting the victories out of that. What the hell has happened to the Mets and their front office? I was told David Stearns was the savior for that franchise.
It hasn't been the case so far.
Far.
Yeah, it hasn't been good. Look, you go out, you get the most expensive position player in baseball right now in Juan Soto, obviously. And ever since then, things have really just kind of ticked down, right? Time after time. It's really been about the pitching to me. Last year they were giving up walks at a ridiculous rate and homers at a ridiculous rate. When you're doing those two things, no matter how many you strike out, it's not going to be good. They tried to go a different route this year. Obviously, got rid of Jeremy Hefner, brought in new pitching, coaching staff, and then brought in a slew of new pitchers, whether it was starters or relievers, and tried to patchwork it based off of guys who have shown potential, based off of guys who have shown an ability to eat up innings. But realistically, who did they have that they could count on from day 1 to day 162, and they knew what they were getting? You'd say Freddie Peralta, but he's been the one who's been probably as inconsistent as anybody else on this staff. Yeah. There's guys that have injury history. There's guys that have shown an inability at times to perform. There's guys whose track record was just too short to really rely on them. And to me, it was the second year in a row where they did something very similar in going into a season with too many question marks. No, you cannot build a team going into April 1st or March 25th, whatever the first day of the season is nowadays. You can't go into that day with no question marks, unless you're the Dodgers, apparently. But realistically, you're going to have question marks. They just have had too many, and they haven't had enough staples in that lineup or in the rotation, bullpen, to really go into a season feeling confident, and that's been their downfall.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I'm going to put out there that you guys should do some type of rec and deck type of thing.
We've talked about it for years.
You guys should figure that out.
I mean, Cody Decker and Tony Recker, it's right there. It's right there.
Talk baseball, man. Have a great time. Be fine. No, Anthony.
We could go a lot of ways with that, but we'll just keep it at it would be a good show. It'll be a good show.
You talked about the pitching struggles, and every great baseball team has had great pitching. I'm learning as I, kind of spend time talking to Cody. Obviously, we watch the Dodgers closely. Talk about the importance of the catcher. You played catcher. Cody played catcher. We're seeing Dalton Rushing kind of try to find his way here in L.A. In the catching department with Will Smith out. Talk to us about how catching impacts pitching and, how you're seeing Dalton Rushing make that evolution.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, it's truly immeasurable, right? There's nothing that well, first of all, let me stop real quick. First of all, D-Fish, it's an honor to be on here with you. Watched you play for years. It was never a Lakers fan. I'm sure Cody can attest to that. But it is an honor to be on with you. I respected everything you did out there on the court, and it's great to be on here. Anyway, outside of that, as far as from a catching standpoint, it's truly immeasurable the impact they can have, because we're talking about people, we're talking about emotions, we're talking about the mental side of the game. And so, yes, you could take, maybe a catcher's ERA, the CERA, Sarah, whatever you want to call it, and you could work that into some effect. But then there's the ability to steal pitches, the ability to have relationships with umpires, the ability to control what's going on out there on the field. There's so many variables, and that's what makes baseball great. There's so many variables in the game that are unquantifiable. And so when you get to a point where you're trying to quantify someone's value behind the plate as a catcher and the impact that they can have, it's not something that you can really do unless you understand all of the nuance that is baseball. And so for me, look, I did play the position, but even still, I'm learning every day. You're finding out new things, and you're trying to think of things from a different perspective. These catchers, the amount that's on their plate today with the data that they have to take in, the types of personalities that they have to try to navigate, much like a manager, right? They have to try to navigate the starting pitchers that are coming up, that come up in a different world of social media and that whole kind of, me to the forefront rather than team. Those personalities are real and something that you have to try to manage, to try to get the most out of them, to try to figure out what makes them tick, to try to figure out how to get through 5, 6, 7 innings, whatever that looks like, guys coming out of the bullpen. There's just so many different variables to try to take into consideration. And then you have the offensive side and everything that goes into that as well. It's what makes a guy like Shohei Ohtani so special, that he can do two things and kind of keep them separate, but do them great. Speaking, I guess, directly to Dalton Rushing. I was actually in Minnesota when that stuff was going on with Shohei and the mound visits and the lack of ABS, calls or decisions, I guess. He's really struggled at times to, I think, separate an ability or a lack of consistency, a lack of performance at times from behind the plate, trying to make the right decision, feeling the pressure, the weight of an Ohtani. What we've seen lately, though, is what he really is. This guy is an offensive force. He's a guy who does understand how to play the position. It's just there are going to be some growing pains. Obviously, him and Ohtani working together hasn't quite worked out from a pure statistics standpoint, right? His numbers with Dalton back there aren't as good as they are with Will Smith back there. Obviously, Ohtani taking some time away from the mound, but it's really hard as a catcher to perform at a high level at everything. And so you've got to take your wins where you get them. And sometimes you've got to be able to kind of push away the losses and just move forward through the 162 of this year. And then in the offseason, address some things, try to make sure you're more mentally prepared for what's coming and understand how you can handle situations better, be more empathetic, be a better people person, because that's really what you are as a catcher sometimes. Is you're not just a manager in the sense that you're thinking about the game. You're a manager of people, and you've got to be able to handle that. And that's what I've seen from Dalton as far as like just struggling a little bit with that and something he can improve on.
We are talking with Anthony Reiter, former Mets catcher and, of course, contributor on the Twins broadcast, but also on top of that, MLB Network, SNY. He's been everywhere, the handsomest analyst in all of professional Major League Baseball. Rec, the Mets, they've had a disastrous year so far, and the Dodgers are getting ready to go to start this series with them, but we got a trade deadline that's looming, and I have to assume the Mets, being where they are looking to move some pieces. What do you think those pieces are? And I know the Dodgers are looking for some maybe pitching depth right now with the Ohtani being out. Who do you think is a potential target, and do you think Clay Holmes is going to be a guy that's going to be getting a lot of calls this trade deadline?
I'll start with Clay Holmes. He should be getting a lot of calls. This should be a guy that teams are looking at. regardless of what you think of him and regardless of the fact that, no, he's not necessarily a huge strikeout guy. He's gotten better in that respect. Not a huge strikeout guy. This is a guy that, yes, he's had some injuries, but when he does take the mound, you're getting a guy who can compete and you're getting a guy with disgusting stuff. He has the right mental makeup. He has failed in this town and then come back a month later and looked like his dominant self, whether it was in the bullpen or as a starter. And the fact that we've seen teams leverage guys that have the ability to go back and forth the way that we have over the last 5-10 years in the playoffs means he is a very important piece to any pitching staff throughout baseball. Yes, the Dodgers to call on him. Yes, almost every team that's in it this year in the playoff scenario should be calling about Clay Holmes. From the Mets' perspective, as far as who they should be selling, not selling, whatever, I would say you're not going to sell Juan Soto, obviously. Outside of that, anybody with less than 3 years of service time, come the end of this year, come right now, whatever you want to call it, anyone with less than 3 years, I'd probably be holding on to because they've got some young pieces that, and as far as control, everyone with more than 3 years, free reign. Like, to me, why? What are you holding on? People say 27. Well, what about 2027? You don't know what this team is going to look like, and how many of those guys do you want to keep around? You've already started an exodus of players that played in this town that did well and that were good people, that were good clubhouse people. Is there a better clubhouse person than Brandon Nimmo? I don't know. Maybe Marcus Semien. I get it. You make that trade 1-for-1. But realistically, this team, they're not in a position where they're performing well. They're not going to be in a position performing well next year if most of this team is back. That's just not going to be the case. Yes, there could be some regression or I guess even progression to where players are, getting back up to the standard that they've played to on their baseball card in the past. Hope is not something that I deal in that much. I don't love it. Yeah, I can hope that, I'll come back and play next year, but I'm 42 and that's not going to happen. So realistically, they've got some work to do. They've got things that they've got a team that they're going to need to turn over. Why not start it now? Yes, it could make it harder next year to compete, but at the same time, you've got to build towards something. And if you're not doing it by taking advantage of the pieces that you have now, the assets that you have now, unfortunately, hate talking about players like that, but it's the reality, then you're just failing as a businessman.
The Dodgers, what are you seeing? Not even who. When you think about the Dodgers, like other than the big names, what are they doing? How are they playing baseball? What do you see when you watch them compete? What little nuggets that the casual fan like myself, like what are we not seeing that the Dodgers are doing day in and day out that have led to them being at the top of the standings? Because they've had a lot of salary on the IL.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of other guys stepping up to play baseball. And so, what have the Dodgers been able to do so far this year with all the guys out?
So something that I've noticed from this organization this year, past years, yes, they'll go out and spend the money. Yes, they will have some of the premier talent in the big leagues. Yes, that star power sells tickets and it performs on the field. They do an amazing job of understanding who guys are as a baseball player, how they can help a team, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and making sure to put those strengths in the right positions more often than other teams do. They also do a tremendous job of developing talent, both physically and mentally in the minor leagues, so that when it gets to the big leagues, it is prepared to perform. Are they perfect? No, there are examples of that. But realistically, when guys come through their minor league system and get to the big leagues, even when they bring players over from other squads, much like the Rays and others, that they just tend to get more out of them. They get more out of these guys when they come up from the minor leagues too, because they prepare them properly. Then from that perspective, and this is where a lot of teams fall short, they don't just get them to the big leagues, they continue to develop them in the big leagues. They continue to mold them and understand their strengths and help create environments where they can be successful and teach them how they can be successful. And to me, that is something that you need the analytical side. You have to understand how that works, and you have to be able to, I'll call it monetize it or extract the most value from that. But you also have to have people that understand people, empathizers, and people that understand how to handle young men, adults, and older veterans to continue to get the most out of them and continue to find ways for them to be successful. I think of a team like the Orioles as an organization that has failed in that respect. They get guys to the big leagues that have talent. They draft them. They come up through the system. They're uber talented. They get to the big leagues, and it's a steady decline. It's not an incline. And that is something that the Dodgers have figured out how to do that other teams just do not know how to do. That's a credit to everyone from their front office to their analytics staff, especially to the guys that are in that clubhouse every single day. I know some of that, a lot of that coaching staff. I know some of those players, and I've heard it from them. It's just a different environment that they create, and it breeds success.
Absolutely. We're with Anthony Recker right here. And quick one for you, Anthony, because we got about 30 seconds to go. Tarek Skubal, my guy, is he getting dealt?
He better. If you don't, what are you doing? Detroit, you should have traded him in the offseason. And the fact that you waited till now he's a 2-month rental, you're going to get less. Yes, there's going to be teams bidding on him. But there's going to be less teams involved in that trade because there's only a couple teams that feel like he's going to push them over the top to a World Series. And you have to be World Series or bust if you're going for Tarek Skubal.
Absolutely. He is Anthony Recker. You can check him out on MLB Network, see him on SNY, and on some Twins broadcasts, my man, and the one and only. Listen, and back in the day, you and I used to do home run derby opposite field over there in Reno when we were stuck together in AAA, and now look at us, taking over the broadcasting world, my man.
The second career can be better than the first, kids. It can be. We're examples of that.
Anthony Recker, check him out anywhere you can. He is one of the very best analysts in the game. And Anthony, I cannot wait to have you back on the show. Thank you for joining us today, and good luck the rest of this season, my guy.
Dak, D-Fish, I really appreciate it. Take care, guys.
The one and only Anthony Recker, ladies and gentlemen. And D-Fish and Decker right here on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. I really loved your question, by the way, the insights on, how much a catcher needs to do these days. Using Dalton Rushing as the example. And he's right. The amount of information that is handed to a catcher. I remember when I got to the big league specifically. I didn't catch an inning in the big leagues, not one time, but I was in every single catcher's meeting. So I would leave batting practice after the second group, and I would go in the meeting, and I would take all the notes and go over everything. I mean, you have to have the stats of every player that's on that team. You have to have it memorized. You have to know exactly what pitch sequences we're going to be pitching to these guys based on what their habits are. Mm-hmm. And then we have to then come up with not only with working with that starting pitcher, then we have to figure out the potential relief pitchers and then go through their skill sets and where we're going to pitch these guys with these pitchers. We go over simple strategy and okay, in the eighth inning, if we come up and say Merrill Kelly is coming up to the plate or Jackson Merrill's coming up to the plate. We have we have Vesia coming in. We'll have him come in. We're going to pitch him this way with this back foot slider, with this sweeper, with this and this and this, and it changes by the count. The amount of information that is in a catcher's mind at any given moment, not to mention the ability to pitch frame, not the ability to throw, to block, to keep the ball in front of you, to keep the runners from advancing to bases. And then the hardest part of the job, the very hardest part of the job, to be able to maintain the guy on the mound psyche. The catcher can't even deal with his own psyche. He's got to be the therapist for the guy on the mound. It's a lot. Dalton Rushing is doing a lot, and he's doing a lot with this pitching staff. It's not that he's got a pitching staff. He's got Hall of Famer, Cy Young winner, All-Star.
So two things you're saying. One, Dalton Rushing, actually, we should cut him some slack.
We should
give him a little room.
Give him a little room to breathe.
Mistakes and get frustrated sometimes.
It's gonna happen
because he got a lot of stuff going on.
It's got a lot.
That's one. And then two, you're saying that catchers are the smartest guys in the clubhouse.
10 out of 10 times.
That's pretty much that's what I heard.
Not all of them, but for the most part, usually usually the catcher is usually the smartest guy.
All right, so how are the stats that and the numbers that you guys are looking at in the clubhouse? How is that different from like when people that are using the predictive markets or they're wagering or they're watching the game as fans, and we're talking about ERA and WHIP and all of these things? What data are the teams looking at to kind of figure out how are we going to pitch this guy?
Combination of everything. It could be data on the individual hitter, data that's on our own pitcher. How is that pitcher feeling that day? Is his slider actually working with the same bite? Is he actually not commanding his split finger? It's like all these things you have to kind of manage in real time based on the information you have and also just the read you have. It's almost like you can't do everything based on the numbers. You then have to make the adjustments. As Dave Roberts kind of told us, he was a little more married to the analytics earlier on in his career, but then he's using it more as a tool going forward. The good catchers can use all of that as a tool to then make an informed decision in real time. The bad catchers will just focus only on those numbers. And it gets confusing. And especially if you're a young catcher, I totally understand, leaning into those numbers, but you got to recognize the game as well. It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds that way. I mean, and it sounds like it's almost like a young point guard with a veteran wing player, or a veteran big man. That's like if you don't know how to put the basketball, in his hands at the right angle or at the right time, if you make the pass too late, things that are going to disrupt his ability to be successful, it could put some strain on that relationship.
Absolutely. And listen, Dalton Rushing had a great game last night, got it done, and Dodgers got it done as well, and we'll keep you updated on that. And, of course, baseball coverage on the new 97.1 The Fan. The voice of LA Sports is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that. All right, guys, coming up later on in the show, we got Jason Cole joining us to talk all things AFC and NFC. But coming up, LeBron. Well, he's making a demand for a reunion. But which reunion is it? We will discuss right here on D. Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. And of course, we've been talking all things under the sun when it comes to LA Sports. We broke down last night's Dodger game. We just had Anthony Reiter over here from MLB Network and SNY talking all things about the Dodgers and the trade deadline. Also, the Mets and whether or not they're going to be a seller coming up at this upcoming trade deadline. A lot of pieces over there that could be helpful, including for the Dodgers, one of which being Clay Holmes, who we did ask him about. We also talked a little bit about the AFC West, and later on in the show we're going to talk about the NFC West, but right now we got to talk about LeBron James, because ladies and gentlemen, Le GM is not Le GM of the Los Angeles Lakers anymore. However, it looks like he is getting more than ready to be Le GM of somewhere else. But here's the thing. Where is it going to be? We are in day 23 of the LeBron James offseason, and frankly, that's the longest he's ever taken to actually sign anywhere, D-Fish. And here we are with our, of course, most recent rumors, yes, left and right. But here's the question. Where is he going to go, and how is he going to get there has been the question of the day. Now, if you believe current reports, he has been getting closer and closer and closer to a decision. However, his agent, Rich Paul, did just say he is not going to be rushed, which was in stark contrast said right after the whole Adam Silver that we cannot release a schedule until LeBron makes his decision. So, listen, there's a lot of things that are up in the air. But now, there are extra reports out there about particular teams trying to make it happen. And how are they trying to make it happen? Well, they're trying to basically reunite the guy with one of his old teammates that he's won championships with. We've already heard the rumors about AD to Golden State a bit before in the past, even though DC has said multiple times they have no interest in trading Anthony Davis. Is that the case? We shall see. There are reports that there was a 3-team deal in place for Cleveland to get their hands on Anthony Davis. Now there's also reports that there's been conversations about Cleveland trying to get their hands on Kyrie Irving again to reunite LeBron with Kyrie. And man, this is just getting so muddled up in the air that I don't know what's real, what can happen, how it can happen, because at the end of the day, D-Fish, the idea of parity has now been legislated and baked into the actual league that I don't know how anyone can make the money work to get these guys to be playing with LeBron in these respective cities.
That's definitely the tough part. It's you know, you're in a situation where you have to be in win now mode, championship or bust mode. And so it changes. You know, a lot of teams are trying to map out from a roster construction perspective, in the salary cap management perspective, as we've seen with the Oklahoma City Thunder, for example. Like, there's a window where you can accomplish some things, but once it turns into multiple guys on veteran, contract extensions of a high level, it gets really difficult to maintain that roster. And so that's kind of the gift in this case, though, of like LeBron being at a point in his career where veteran minimum is going to be his number. And so you're not slotting in the max number that he's actually worth. Mm-hmm. You're slotting in the veteran minimum number next to, other guys that you may have. And then also what's hard about the timing here is everybody knows that's, those are the conversations that might be happening behind the scenes. And so if you're Washington and Cleveland is trying to figure out how to maybe make a trade for Anthony Davis, mm-hmm. you're forcing Cleveland to give you everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because otherwise there's no deal. We'll keep Anthony Davis here. Or even if they intend to ultimately trade him, as it gets closer to August when he could do a contract extension, they'll just wait until August and see. Cleveland is the one that has the pressure to try to figure it out in order to convince LeBron to come to Cleveland. So Washington isn't in a rush to make an Anthony Davis trade unless you give them everything and more that they could possibly want in that type of scenario. Same thing for any other team that even remotely might be involved in the LeBron short list. Every other team that's receiving a phone call about any type of player transaction, trade, whatever, swap of picks, if they even have the inkling of a thought that this might be something that's happening as a part of trying to figure out the LeBron piece of it, then you have leverage that you normally wouldn't have. So then you're asking for more in that situation. And so it's what the Jazz were able to do with the Lakers in terms of Walker Kessler. It's why some people feel like the Lakers gave up a little too much, but it's because they know that this is the guy you want, and we have him.
Yeah,
So,
they got you kind of over a barrel a little
right.
bit in this scenario.
And that's in the negotiations. It's about leverage, and so I think LeBron is like, and guys of that caliber are always able to create the leverage because they are who they are, and those organizations, are trying to win it all now. Cleveland has had the highest payroll in the league, I think, the last couple seasons. They're already at the second apron. So I don't know if it messes up their, contracts very much. And so, yeah, I don't know in terms of which team is actually in a position to pull any of these moves off. And it could be a situation where LeBron needs to make a choice and then still hope between the start of the season and the trade deadline that maybe some addition or some changes could happen then, and maybe you can get a deal done that could make more sense.
Well, the rumors that are surrounding this right now, or specifically for this Cleveland reunion, would be specifically trying to swap out James Harden for Kyrie Irving. And, of course, with that, Golden State, the rumors are back at it that Golden State is still trying to acquire Anthony Davis. If you were LeBron James, and I know that's a very strange place to put anybody in, but if you were LeBron James and you saw these two scenarios in front of you, you see a Cleveland reunion with Kyrie Irving, or you see an AD reunion up there in Golden State with the rest of the pieces that they have there, which would you find more interesting to play with?
From a basketball perspective, interesting. I think the Warrior situation still. If you're saying Anthony Davis is joining, I think Draymond Green is in a situation where he also could re-sign at a number that just makes it all work, right? He opted out of his player option. So when he re-signs, it would be in a situation where whatever money that the Warriors needed in order to make the deal work, he'll re-sign for a number that helps put that all together. So my assumption is if in that scenario, Anthony Davis is coming in. Porzingis is already in Washington. I'm not sure if they would make a trade to bring him back necessarily. But, whether it's Porzingis, Horford, whatever other combination of front court guys that would be going out, or maybe it's more focused on Jimmy Butler going out in terms of his salary number. Anthony Davis comes in. And I don't know. To me, a group of AD, Draymond, Steph, and LeBron combined with, Brandon Podziemski and Will Richard and, Yaxel Lindenborg and just some of the other pieces that they have, to me, that's a interesting team, but you're still in the Western Conference. Kyrie next to Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland. It also depends on if Jared Allen is leaving.
Because that was a name that was thrown into that potential 3-team deal with the Wizards to get AD down there.
Yeah, if you're getting AD to Cleveland and Jared Allen's leaving, that's different. But if it's a Kyrie swap out, like where basically they don't re-sign James Harden, but Jared Allen also still ends up getting traded for it just I just don't know if Kyrie and Donovan Mitchell with LeBron. If you have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley next to those three guys, you got a chance.
Okay.
You got a chance. There's enough. Kyrie and Donovan Mitchell give LeBron enough shooting at the perimeter position. Defensively, they don't really have a great on-ball defender, though. I don't like that. Max Strus, if he's still there, that's
Harden.
a big help. No, Harden would be gone. Harden would be gone in this scenario.
Yeah,
I
I don't see how he's going to last in this one. Odd man out, dude.
Yeah, but no, that's interesting. There's a great questions. You could have these conversations literally all day.
You really can.
And kind of visualize the rosters and the possibilities. I don't know. There's something about the combination of things the Warriors present. And the only thing that you can throw out is age, and that to me that doesn't mean there's a lack of ability to still get it done.
Yeah. Listen, it's right there. LeBron James has got a decision to make. Hey, Raj, we went ahead and had a poll there on YouTube. What was the results of the poll?
Yeah, that's right. And the people had a decision to make. And we asked, can LeBron make roster decisions for teams he's not on? And the question, you could say no, Lee GM must be stopped, or yes, pave the way for the king. And a resounding result, it said, no, Lee GM must be stopped.
My goodness. Well, you know what? I think we needed to change that answer, because here's the deal. He's not Lay GM anymore.
Oh, no.
He's Lay Commish now.
Oh.
That man runs the league, man.
Schedule and all.
Commissioner's waiting on LeBron. The commissioner is waiting on the commissioner, D-Fish.
I just want to know what these fans that say he must be stopped think.
How are you going to stop him?
But what do they think is happening in other situations?
Well, they think that he wants to swap out. You guys just talked about it. He wants to swap out Harden for Kawhi and
I
things like
understand
that.
So pick a player that they're a current fan of.
Well,
let's pick Luka for example.
we can do this
already
later
talked
because
about
we
that.
do have to break, but we will
Yeah,
table this
that's
fish,
fine.
and I'm going to write this down on my
we
little
are going to be
notepad.
talking about
That's
this
fine.
again.
But stop acting like other great players don't do this.
Absolutely.
That's my point.
That is fair. Do they hold up the league for 23 days? I'm just
They
playing
haven't done what
Who
he's
did
done.
who did you demand the Thunder get rid of before you signed there, Fish?
Yeah, who had to go, D-Fish?
Well, I wasn't LeBron. So, I didn't demand anything.
Oh, man. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. Coming up, Big Ben in the news. Apparently, he is very done with this Steelers QB. We will discuss on D-Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. That's right. Let's bring in our hype man, Raj.
Yeah, what are you on tape delay? Let's go. Let's get it done, Decker. Jesus. But hey, talking about getting it done, there's some things circulating on the internet. Fish, you got something to tell your boys over here? You got something to tell us?
I'd like to say congratulations to D-Fish.
This thing circulating around the internet. Is that how Decker and I need to find out things?
You could text us.
What are
Called
you
us.
talking about, bro?
Hey, Crash, do you have a photo of any kind that you can throw on the screen? Hey, breaking! The
my
Los
God.
Angeles
What in
Lakers
the
have
heck?
named franchise legend Derek Fisher as the team's new associate head coach. D-Fish, right here, give it up, man. Let's
Is this
go.
a Source
Purple and
brother
gold.
that is just is this why you get sick of the Source brothers, Fish?
Yeah, this is exactly why I get sick.
See, you
of
guys
the
are
Source
doing too
brothers
much.
and the
Talk to me about
rumors
it,
and
Fish.
all, like, it's frustrating that random people can just post or tweet anything and get action or engagement or whatever you want to call it. Like, it has real life implications. Like,
Yeah.
I have kids, I have a family, I have a high school team that I currently coach. If I'm talking to families about coming to play for me in high school and people are running with something that's not true, like, that impacts.
Do you think people really believe this though?
Yes, they do.
Has anyone hit you up?
You guys did.
See, but anybody besides us, we're some knuckleheads, but has anybody like really been duped by this?
I mean, I don't know if duped is the word, but yeah, there is a lot of negative recruiting in high school sports.
Yeah.
That's for another day. But
I know what you're saying. How you want to roll up there and fish? I got you.
there's
see.
a lot of that going on.
But most people with some common sense can see the source, which I'm not
I
even going
would
to give
hope so.
them light of the day.
Yeah, I
but
would hope
can
so.
see it's some BS source.
Yes, I would hope so.
I want to check that source. I want to see how close to Harvard Westlake they are.
And like it's also like to me, for the Lakers, it's like they don't know where that comes from either.
Yeah.
So then it just makes it messy for no reason. They don't. What if I'm putting that out there?
Yeah, well,
Like it's terrible to me. So
Yeah,
that's why
I
I
feel
don't
you.
mess with the Source brothers.
Yeah.
damn source brothers.
Those damn Source brothers are
Making
wrong
it-
again, man.
Making it
Just
rough
be
for
lying,
us.
bro.
We usually
Yeah.
love the Source brothers. All right. Hey, moving on. In New York, there was boaters clocked at 157 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone
In a boat?
during a charity event that they're now banned from. Yeah,
Can I get that speed one more time? I thought I heard a number.
157
On water.
on some
What?
damn
How
water?
is that even possible?
Why would you even try that? It
Are
must
you
be
levitating at that point?
I would assume
doing a
so.
lot of things, but
Dude.
I mean, hit it or quit it on going to 157.
No.
Yeah,
I won't go 157 on a card on a road that is empty.
And this is what they were clocked at. So I don't know if there's a malfunction, but that sounds pretty damn fast.
Yeah, I'm good.
You guys ever own a boat in your illustrious careers?
Own a boat. What kind of glue you think I was getting paid?
One of my other friends, I won't say his name, but NFL friends, he went to a thing, bought a boat.
Oh, I know who it is.
Never used it once. Just bought it because
Now I definitely know who it is.
he was like, yeah, this seems cool. And he had it for years. Like, what the hell I'm doing with this boat? I've never even using it, but
Yeah.
okay.
I thought I knew who it was, and then you told me that. I'm like, oh, I definitely know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll tell you off the air. Hey, check it out. World Cup betting in the U.S. Now, some betting, how the Super Bowl was king of bettings in this, even March Madness. Well, World Cup betting was the equivalent of 10 Super Bowls. I mean, people was 10 Super Bowls, guys, on World Cup. So hit it or quit it on just the economic impact that this damn World Cup had, especially with the bettors, Fish.
And this is the whole tournament?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, damn, I was about to say the final?
10 Super Bowls, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rolling. I hit it. It is a world-stopping event. Like I said, I didn't realize it until 2010, and when it was in Rio, and I'm telling you, we won the title. And a week later, I saw Kobe in Rio watching the World Cup soccer in person.
Yeah, you turn your right. Like,
And I
wasn't
was
Kobe
like-
right here?
It's like, what just happened? Like, when did he fly to Rio? We just had a parade.
Yeah.
And that's when I really kind of started to understand the impact of World Cup and the event that it is. So I'm rolling.
I'll tell you this. If there's one thing this showed, America really misses American football because they are desperate to bet on something. And boy, Americans who know nothing about soccer betting all that money on soccer is just very funny to me. It just says that people just needed an itch to scratch so badly, and the World Cup gave it to
I
them.
remember the last World Cup in 2022, which was in Qatar. They did it like in the fall. They did it late because it was so hot.
Yeah,
so
'cause they
there
had to
was
do it in the
football.
winter.
So we had it now, something to bet on.
And also there was no booze in that World Cup, so it was boring.
yeah.
This one was awesome.
Yeah, you can get your hands on it if you really
Everyone
want
was
to. I know a
drunk.
guy. Hey, Steelers Big Ben Roethlisberger. He says he's officially done with Mason Rudolph on the Steelers roster. Just backup quarter, just officially done.
Okay.
You give me a face, and I hit it or quit it, Cody, on just being done with Mason Rudolph.
Listen, I've seen Mason Rudolph play as well. I understand being done with him. But was there extra context on why he was done with Mason Rudolph, who is, as of now, still penciled in to be the backup QB for the Steelers?
But if after this year he could be the starter, obviously, when Aaron Rodgers goes out, I doubt they'll go that route.
Sure,
but.
Jam. Sure, that's going to happen. I doubt it, too. How about that, Raj?
Yeah,
being done with a guy, man, yeah, sure. I've been done with many athletes in my time. I just find it interesting on today, on July 23rd, 2026, why did Ben Roethlisberger wake up and say, today's the day. Today's the day I'm done with Mason. I get him saying that about Aaron Rodgers. He's the starter of the team. But going after Mason Rudolph today is a choice. How about that?
Yeah, what you say, Fish?
Yeah, I quit it in terms of like Aaron Rodgers played last year, didn't he? So when was the last time Mason Rudolph did anything to anybody that would make them done with him?
Like 3 years ago.
So I'm just maybe Roethlisberger's at practice regularly.
Maybe
it feels like but it's kind of interesting to me. It's like me saying I'm done with somebody that plays for the Lakers that hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah. Seems like a personal thing that you just decided to air out in public for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, MCU. All right, let's start with you. MCU is dying. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Phrase? Okay. Marvel Studios, word on the street, is hoping to kill them now with Doomsday coming out. They're going in for the kill of the MCU universe. So quickly, for those that don't understand what MCU is, break it down
Marvel
for us.
Cinematic Universe, they just released the trailer for the Avengers Doomsday, which is the next Avengers movie. The next Spider-Man movie comes out later this month. That's going to probably absolutely kill as well. But Doomsday already has made $20 million domestically because people have already started buying tickets, and they haven't even bought IMAX tickets yet. So this movie is going to make $1 billion, if not multiple billions of dollars, which is something that the MCU desperately needed because their last few things have been a little flop-like, which is not what Marvel is used to for the last decade and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It used to be that one movie was, like event watching, like you put it on the calendar, and maybe in the, having to try to meet the demands of content. And with the platforms,
especially during COVID and all that too,
there was an increase in how many of the movies were coming out. Too many. And so going back to an Avengers Doomsday style release, where it's like the whole year we're waiting for that one movie, that just might be the better way to go.
We're seeing it happen right now. Like the Odyssey is killing it. It was an event. We all been waiting for it, and it also lived up to all the expectations too. So I hope this makes all the money.
Doomsday better, bro.
It better, dude. There's a lot of pent-up aggression on Marvel fans right now, desperate for this movie to be a hit.
Hey, real quick, for the third year in a row, Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu, is that how I pronounce it? They won't meet in the WNBA three-point contest, Fish. Hit it or quit it. That's what fans been clamoring for. Well, you won't get it for 3 years in a row.
I'm not sure why. I need to investigate or inquire why this is happening.
Yeah.
I know, we talked about All-Star weekends can just be a lot. And so I can understand why, like, for somebody like Caitlin Clark, just at some point over the weekend, like, not wanting to have something to do. Because their schedules get packed with, like, 24/7 events and appearances and commercial shoots and all the things. But I don't know.
Because there is no dunk contest, so this is their thing. The three-point contest. And you just want to see your biggest stars when especially if you want eyes. I just think it's a missed opportunity. But I don't know.
Yeah. Because of that, I'll quit it. Because I want to see it. I actually do want to see it. Hell, I'd like to see it in the NBA All-Star game, the way they brought in Ionescu to take on Steph a couple years ago. I thought that was a blast. I just not sure why we're not getting it, and it's a little annoying. I get it, but I also don't get it.
Yeah. I know we had the Sabrina Oregon thing last year. Remember, Caitlin Clark went on a visit and decided not to go to Oregon.
Yeah. Well, guys, so much more to discuss. The Dodgers and, of course, the upcoming trade deadline. First series win since 2022. Right here on D. Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Fish and Decker on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. And D-Fish and I, we were just doing a little hit it or quit, and we were talking about, and Raj just mentioned the idea that Caitlin Clark is not going to be doing the three-point contest in the WNBA All-Star game against Sabrina Ionescu, which is the third time in a row we've had that. And I will admit, like, the more and more I'm thinking about it, D-Fish, the more disappointed I'm kind of getting in that, because that is legitimately something I want to see. And those of you that have thoughts on it, give us a call, 855-975-2326. Do you guys think that the WNBA might be killing the golden goose by not having us have this three-point competition? Let's go to Eric in Encino. Eric, talk to us. You're on with D-Fish and Decker. Eric, you there, my guy? Oh, unfortunately, Eric's not coming through right there. Give us a call back, 855-975-2326. Let us know your thoughts on that. Are you as disappointed as we are on Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu not joining the three-point competition? That being said, the Dodgers had themselves.
I think Sabrina's in.
Okay, so but Caitlin's not.
I just think, yeah. I think
well, man,
Caitlin's
that's kind
not
of disappointing.
participating.
Yeah, I got to say, though, that we've seen Sabrina do it, and well, honestly, it's wonderful to watch her do it, but I'm a little disappointed we're not going to get Caitlin Clark doing it. It's the face-off that I think a lot of NBA, WNBA, and just basketball fans would love to see, but hopefully something will change in the future. We will get that matchup at some point. Ladies and gentlemen, the Los Angeles Dodgers get it done again. And of course, earlier on the show, we had Anthony Recker on the show from MLB Network and SNY, and he gave some great details on what he's been seeing with these Dodgers and what he's been seeing with certain guys on the team. And one guy I want to go ahead and highlight, because this guy's been really maligned a lot this season, whether it's been for how he's played on the field, which has been pretty damn good, but it's more of his other antics on the field that gets him kind of looked at and draws the ire of some other teams and draws the ire of some fans. And that would be Dalton Rushing, who's been in a little bit of a slump as of late. Well, Dalton Rushing comes on in and does this.
This ball's drilled in the air to center field. It's carrying well, and it's gone. Dalton Rushing connects. A long home run to get the Dodgers on the board. Throw it back.
Huge spark. He was down right there, 0-2 early in the third inning. Rushing hits that home run right there, solo shot off of Aaron Nola. And, of course, later on in the game, in the fifth inning, he worked the count again. Another two-run double, 3 RBIs on the night for Dalton Rushing, so a great job by him. As the game also progressed, Max Muncy, a name that is just a name we get mentioning on this show so often because Max Muncy just can carry this team when they need him. Here's Max Muncy in the fifth inning.
Muncy cracks one in the air, left center field. Hill on the run. He'll turn and watch this ball go. Muncy finds the seats yet again. 20th of the year, 229th as a Dodger. Moving past Ron Cey, and the Dodgers move past the Phils.
That's right. That right there from Sportsnet LA last night, that Dodger game. Max Muncy, you heard it right there, 229th as a Los Angeles Dodger, making him the second in sole possession, second most home runs ever by a Los Angeles Dodger. And I did specify Los Angeles Dodger, D-Fish, because, of course, there are some Brooklyn Dodgers on this list a little bit higher. But as far as the Los Angeles Dodgers list, he is number 2 in sole possession, just passing the Penguin, Ron Cey. Only one more name for him to chase on that list, and that would be Eric Karros. He's got another 50 home runs to go, however, on that one. As the game continued, I don't know what to say, D-Fish. Yesterday, we spent a lot of time breaking down the end of that game the day before, and I mentioned to you that line from Catch You If You Can. Why do the Yankees always win? Because they always see them damn pinstripes. The Dodgers are that specter-ish 1960s Yankees now. It's like they are just the boogeyman to everybody that shows up, because the Dodgers, if you make a mistake, they make you pay and then some. And this is the second night in a row that the Phillies seemingly have forgotten what base running is. Here's something that happened in the 6th inning.
Pitch number 13 from Eric Lauer to Trey Turner. Down to third, Muncy. Stott runs into an out. What are these guys doing?
Great call from Joe Davis right there over there at Sportsnet LA. And yeah, what are these guys doing? Like, here's the thing. Like, you and I have been discussing the Phillies quite a bit. And again, this is the first time the Dodgers have won a regular season series in Philadelphia since 2022. So in the last 3 years, the Phillies have seemingly had the Dodgers' numbers. How in the hell is this team making these mistakes right now? 2 in a row against the Dodgers. You can't give the Dodgers any rope because they will hang you with it.
They will, but they also, I think what happens in these type of matchups is like there's a recognition. You have to maximize your scoring opportunities. You've talked for the last 3 or 4 days as part of this series on, we have to, get guys in scoring position. Mm-hmm. We got to be aggressive in running the bases. We have to have an attack mentality, like all the famous, coaching and managing phrases. And that's all you've been getting, pounded into your head all week. And then, the game starts, and those are the things that you're holding on to. And so, you hear that back crack, and you're thinking like, yes, okay, I got to be aggressive on that. They told us.
Panic, though.
And then the second part of, I think, that panic or sometimes that brain freeze is the pressure that the Dodgers put on you. To your point, when they come to town, like, okay, man, we're, it's like an offense in football that, man, we got to score at least 24 to 28 points just to have a chance against this team. Mm-hmm. It's hard to win a low-scoring game, against the Dodgers, maybe because, they have good pitching and they're good defensively. And so these teams are trying to figure out how to get runs on the board and just, making some mistakes. But then you have to look at that. If you're the Phillies, you have to look at that as a positive still, that, you're in a close game, 2 runs, 3 runs, et cetera. But it's your mistakes that are costing you these wins. And so if you see the Dodgers later, you still have to believe that you can figure out how to get it done. It's a lot.